I swore I was gonna get that tonight. Otherwise, y'all would hear me in between classes tramping around here trying to do something to get my mind off the fact that I'm about to stand in front of a camera. Okay, arm rolls going backwards. Every night I manage to do that. I don't know why I don't do it in Krav though, or Tang Soo. Elbows going the other way. Wrists going the other way. Fingers explode open. Good. Once again, not an active stretch, just kind of hang, let gravity do the work for you. Slowly up. Now the problem with playing music, hopefully I won't sing. Hopefully I won't sing. No promises though. Back down. Like I said, you're not actively trying to stretch. Just hang, let gravity pull you down. Up, reach it backwards. And back down. Holy cow, guys. I just saw my belly on the screen. I'm an albino. Back down. No offense to any albinos out there. And one more time, up. Good, spread your feet. Once again, don't hold yourself up. Just stretch, let gravity pull you down, start building up those inner muscles. Those inner muscles. Walk it out a little bit. I think I pulled something earlier. And walk it out a little bit more. Down the middle. To the left. To the right. Reaching behind. Good. Good. Ready stance. Once again, guys, ready stance just means you're ready. You're having a conversation with somebody, this is where you should be. Not hands in the pockets, nothing like that. It's actually killing me right now to have my son, when we're out and about, put his hands in his pockets so he doesn't touch and lick things. Because that is a horrible habit to have. I can't tell, I have kids that come in here in basketball shorts and the first things, hands in the pockets. And then ready stance. Once again, hands up in a, that's the word I'm looking for. Relaxed posture, no, defensive, nah. De-escalating posture, one of those. So, lead hand jab, rear hand punch with a pivot. Once again, we're only gonna do 5 per side. When I release these videos live, which normally takes about 24 to 48 hours, feel free, when you're doing this on your own, pause the video, do an extra 5 or 10 per side, then move on to the next technique. Hands up. Good. Lead hand jab, rear hand punch with a pivot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got sent that a comment last class before last. Why do I do that? Traditional martial arts, of course, we kill. Ice! Krav. Adults feel weird about yelling, so we don't do that here. But we do the one to help regulate our breathing. Think about it. You exhale out, contracting that diaphragm. Then air has to fill in that spot that was released. So it helps to control your breathing. Secondly, when you contract your diaphragm on the moment of impact, it tightens up your core, boom, and allows you to deliver a stronger strike. You know, in traditional we teach the Kia because one, it does get the energy flowing, it does release adrenaline, endorphins into your system, but mostly what it does is it contracts the core on the moment of impact. Good, roundhouse punch to the head. Those that have been with me for a while, you can modify it, middle finger protruding. Middle finger protruding. Let me get closer so you can see that. Middle finger protruding. Now, where's this technique going? This technique, more often than not, is going to the temple. If I'm on the side of him, like for instance, he throws a haymaker, then I will block. Just notice how I'm off his center line. I blocked. Boom. Could go to the bridge of the nose or to the eye. So, roundhouse punch to the head, middle finger protruding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, keep in mind, nothing changes. Elbow behind the fist. Elbow behind the fist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, switch. Spear hand jab to the front, spear hand jab to the front. If you're big like me, or if you're a traditionalist, you can always modify this technique with a knuckle strike to the front. Once again here, let me show you. Right there, notice how across the back, you don't want it down, you don't want it up, you want a nice flat line from those knuckles all the way down. So, spear hand jab, whether it be here, spear hand jab, whether it be there. Either one, this is a beautiful technique, especially if you're taking it to the nose. I have a beautiful Chinese kickboxing photo where the guy's nose goes from here to there. Beautiful photo. Beautiful photo. So very good technique. So feel free to add that in also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch. Other side. Lead hand horizontal elbow. Lead hand horizontal elbow. Coming backwards with a fist, downward hammer strike this time. So you're here, boom, coming backwards with a downward hammer fist. Once again, I told you when you come up with these combos in your training, always have a mental picture in your head of exactly what they did. So what did they do here for me? What is causing me to come downwards with an elbow versus just swinging back across? Simply put, they're a boxer. So I threw that elbow and he bobbed and weaved. So the last thing I want to do is come backwards with that and hit him on the top of the head. Top of the head, not a valid striking point. So boom, I'm coming down on the clavicle or the back of the neck if he managed to lean over. Hand open, thumb glued to the shoulder, is done with the hips. So my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Switch. Good. Back fist. Back fist. This time not a hammer fist, it's a back fist. So you strike with the same two knuckles that you punch with, just you're coming around this way, say to the side of his head. So it could be an example like if you have the tendency, if the fight's already on and you're covered up, he comes to throw a straight jab, you block, boom, you're coming backwards with that back fist. Keep in mind, You don't want to hit with the back of the hand. Soft and squishy there. You're striking with those knuckles. Striking with those knuckles. So one, palm strike with the rear. Palm strike with the rear. I don't know if I said that. Anyway, 1, 2, good. 2, 3, 4, 5, good. Switch. Palm strike, real quick. I don't know if I've covered this yet. I'm going to keep it easy and I'm going to keep it complex all at the same time. Palm strike. Excuse me. What are you striking with? The palm heel, right there. That's what you're aiming with. This area right here. Now, a little bit more advanced. Once again, build on your foundation. I'm actually striking here. So what's happening is I'm actually hitting with those knuckles and then the palm. So it's 2 hits in one. 1, 2, 1, 2. If I'm going, let's just say to the nose or to the jawline, then of course that's all I'm hitting with. But if he has his chest open, 1, 2 to the sternum, beautiful technique. Beautiful technique. Have we done this side? I don't know. That's the problem with cameras is they can't tell me what sides we've already done when I get off topic. Back fist palm strike. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Ready stance. This time we're going to be doing a rising block punch. So basically you're standing here having a conversation with somebody, they take a swing at you, you're dropping and striking. Keep in mind, head over shoulders, over hips, over feet. Always head over shoulders, over hips, over feet. Ready stance. We're going to be blocking with the left, striking with the right. Blocking with the left, striking with the right. So somebody takes a swing at you. 1. Good. 2. 3. 4. 5. Now keep in mind when I block, I always go open hand. I mean, you go closed hand if you're a traditionalist, I go open hand. Nice tight fingers. I like open hand because once again you got that bone that you're opening up, that you're striking with. And keep in mind, center line block. No here. No blocking to the side, center line block. Keep your center line protected. So, blocking with the right, striking with the left. And feel free to vary up the attacks also. You can go with a punch, you can go with a palm strike. You can go with the spear hand jab. Keep in mind, if I'm going to the groin with a palm, boom, striking there to the pelvic bone with a palm heel. Great technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. And keep in mind, the taller ones out there. Tall has a disadvantage. We have to get significantly lower. We have to get lower. So this is where it comes good. Like, for instance, you'll notice my eyes keep wandering because I'm noticing that I am a little higher than I would like to be. So I need to drop a little bit more than I have been. Okay, groin head hammer fist, Krav Maga combo. No groin, no Krav Maga. So, fighting stance, starting with the right foot. Once again, have that picture in your mind of what's going on. Basically, I have my opponent by the back of the neck. I'm going to the head, or groin. I'm going to the head, then I'm hammer fisting. He's taller, he's bigger than I am, taller than I am. I'm kicking to the groin, kneeing to the head, hammer fist to the back of the neck. So feel free to mix it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch, switch. Let's get back of the neck. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mix up your technique while you're training also. Don't always practice, say, 10 times knee, head. Vary it up in between techniques. Vary it up in between techniques. Now, moving on. Choke from the rear with a push. Choke from the rear with a push. This is not a forearm choke. It's not a rear naked choke. It is a standing choke. So basically, you're standing there minding your own business, somebody walks up behind you, choke, and they push you. Okay. To figure out which foot you want to stop with, a good way to do this is stand there with your eyes closed. Have somebody standing behind you, and then when you're least expecting it, just have them shove the shit out of you. Just right in the chest. And whichever foot that you step out with, that's your natural reaction. That's the one that you need to practice consistently stepping out with. Because you don't want to fight your natural body's instincts. You want to adapt with it, roll with it. So, me personally, I step out with my left. I step out with my left. I think that's because over the years, especially with this technique, with us striking to the rear, I like having my striking appendages closer to my opponent. You'll notice that a lot of times when we're being aggressive, I have my right side forward, because that's the way I like to fight. If I know my opponent's behind me, my right is going to be to the rear, because once again, it's closest to my opponent. So find which way is comfortable with you, and then that's the way we're going to train. So, choke from the rear with a push. The biggest thing I need to tell you, don't fight it. Too many times we try to turn this into a tug of war. They're pushing me, I'm pushing them. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If I fight him, he's going to fight right back. If I relax, he's going to relax. So when he's choking and pushing him, go with him until you're not ready to go anymore. Okay, so choke from the rear with a push. You're going to walk, and when you're ready, you're going to plant your foot, arms coming up, hooking at the wrist. Hooking at the wrist. Notice how I'm not grabbing. I'm just hooking. Okay, I'm not trying to manhandle him. I'm not trying to pull him away. I'm just hooking the hand. Okay, the wrist. So he's choking. He pushed, I stopped, I'm coming up, hooking the elbows, coming up with my elbows. From here, I can either turn, or if he's within striking distance, I'm going to find the closest knee, strike, and then turn. 9 times out of 10 with this one, you're not going to throw that kick because they're going to be right on top of you. Keep in mind, an object in motion stays in motion. So if he's pushing me, I plant and rip. His momentum is carrying him right onto that elbow, which means his feet are almost on top of mine. So I'm just going to want to pivot, grab him by the back, groin, head, hammer fist. Notice how I change feet. Once again, this is why that visualization that we talked about a couple of classes ago is so, so important. Let's run this through on Bob. So basically, Bob's choking me. Imagine that he was born with hands. And he shoves. I rip, elbow. When I come up, we talked about earlier, I like striking with my dominant. I, of course, will throw a knee or a kick to the groin there. But then I'm going to switch. That way I can continue striking, boom, boom, with my dominant hand, dominant leg. So don't feel the need to, okay, I started striking with this knee, I need to keep striking with that knee. Don't, boom, boom, switch, switch. And you'll notice a lot of times when I'm doing these techniques, I do switch my feet because I am striking as I'm switching. So, once again, choke from the rear with a push. When you're ready, you're going to plant, rip, coming up with those elbows. Open, groin, head, groin, hammer fist. Yeah, I kind of got that backwards there, but we all get the gist. We all get the gist. Okay, again. I'll from the rear, maybe from the front, Trying to figure out the angle that's best for the camera. So, somebody's choking, push it from the rear. You're gonna go, whenever you're ready to react, here, rip, hands come up, elbows come up. You're gonna pivot, groin, head, hammer fist. Okay? I guess from the rear. So somebody's choking, pushing me backwards. Here, he had some distance between me and him. I'm going to strike, pivot, groin, head, hammer fist. Now, keep in mind that you want to aim, boom, those elbows back. And you're not grabbing. I know this may sound a little bit silly, but keep in mind, if you grab your opponent, you then have to let go to hit them. I know we're only talking about micro fractions of a second there, but those microseconds are the difference between me going home to my kid and not. So it's very important that we don't grab, you just hook. And you're not trying to muscle them. Boom, use your body. Notice that when I land and I come down, I use my body to pull. Boom. Taking him right into there. Okay, now, when you're practicing this technique, do what I just did a second ago. You can imagine he's Frankensteining you. Basically, he's here. He's got you choking, and he's just pushing. Or he's right up on top of you. Okay, this, believe it or not, this one is, well, frankly, it's easier. Because 9 times out of 10, when you stop here, he's already started the momentum around you, so you can just turn on him easier. The most important reason to practice these at home is footwork. Footwork. A lot of times when we practice with, keep in mind we're coming towards the end of class, so any questions, please leave them in the chat. But footwork is key. Footwork is key, and footwork does not change. Yeah, it may need to be tweaked a little when you're training against somebody else, but inherently nothing changes between what I just did and if there's a warm body next to me. Nothing changes. The key to these techniques is one, reaction. You know, close your eyes, imagine somebody's choking, they shove you, boom, and you explode. And in the footwork on the turn, always maintain your fighting stance. Too many times when we're doing this technique, I see my students end up here in this, I don't know what you would call this, linear horse stance. It's not a good stance, by the way. But they end up with this really narrow stance, and then they have an opponent like this. So before the fight even began, I already gave my opponent everything he needs to win. Okay, so when you are doing your striking and you turn, make sure that you land in that good solid fighting stance. So one more time, do it from this side. So somebody's choking from the rear pushing. You're gonna plant, rip, come around, groin, head, hammer fist. One more time. Somebody's choking from the rear. You're gonna plant, hook, strike if you need to, pivot, groin, head, hammer fist. Repetition. Other than that, guys, great class. Feel free to message me if you have any other questions. I'd really love a stumper one of these days. Other than that, keep working on your own, keep training. If you like the video,